I talk to a lot of prospective students, and the number one question that people have is, should I get a new MacBook? Should I get an iPad? What MacBook should I get? What technology device should I get for university? I remember I had the same questions. I had those exact same questions when I was applying for medicine. I was in a group chat with other medicine offer holders, and we all had the same question. Well, at the time that I was applying, the answer was always MacBook. The iPad was slow, couldn't multitask, and it was just a much lower value proposition than a new MacBook. And in order to get an iPad with an Apple Pencil support, you had to go for the iPad Pro. And this meant you were spending so much money, almost the same amount as buying a new MacBook Pro. So when I was starting university, the iPad definitely wasn't the correct choice. However, since then, things have changed. The iPad is now more versatile than ever. It can be used for so many different tasks. You have a very cheap option and more expensive options as well. There's Apple Pencil support, multitasking support, and so many other things which make me believe that the iPad is truly the most versatile technology device that I own.
Hey, what you doing on your computer?
What's a computer?
It's more useful than my MacBook, more useful than my phone, everything. It's the most versatile device I own. There have been weeks where I haven't touched my MacBook and only used my iPad. And this is why I truly do believe that an iPad could be the one and only device that a student uses. You can have that as a computer replacement. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. Hey everyone, my name is Krish and I'm a third year medical student currently studying at the University of Nottingham. In this video, there's going to be three main sections. First, I'm going to talk about who an iPad would work best for and how it can be used at university. Second, I'm going to talk about which iPad is the best value for you and which iPad I would recommend for students. Third, I'm going to give you 5 ways to optimize your iPad for efficient and productive use. Because remember, in this channel, we're all about efficiency and optimization. Just a quick disclaimer before we start. For engineers or computer science students or anyone that needs specialist software, please make sure it's available on the iPad before you buy it. If not, just stick to a laptop. If your course doesn't need any specialist software, such as medicine or the majority of other courses, then an iPad could be the device for you. Broadly speaking, there's 3 main situations that prospective students are in before starting university.
Choose your character.
If you're in the third situation and want one device for everything, then maybe perhaps it's worth thinking about buying a cheaper MacBook and a cheaper iPad and using them together. However, if you already have a desktop computer or a laptop computer, an iPad would be the perfect university and lecture companion for you. If your course is like mine and mostly lecture-based or even problem-based learning style, then an iPad could be so useful for you because it's so versatile in what it can do. Pair it with a Bluetooth keyboard or a keyboard case, and you can use it to take typed notes in the exact same way that you can with a laptop. If you're not typing, you can also use the Apple Pencil to take notes. This is such a great way to learn and especially useful in lectures. Some studies have shown that handwriting is better for your memory than typing, and I would agree with this. On top of this, most lecturers put their PowerPoints up online. With the Apple Pencil, it's so easy to just annotate those PowerPoint slides. And this means that you're not wasting time writing down every point from the lecture, as most of these are already on the slides. If you want to see a video on exactly how I take notes during lectures, make sure you're subscribed and turn the notification bell on so you're notified of all my future uploads. So, there are 4 brand new iPads that are available from Apple at 4 different price points. There's the iPad 7th generation, the iPad mini, the iPad Air, and both iPad Pros. All of these have slightly different purposes and slightly different price points, and are ideal for different people. If you're on a budget, the iPad 7 will be more than adequate for most people, and it's an amazing deal for the price you pay. It has almost 90% of the function of the iPad Air, but for a fraction of the cost. I personally have this particular iPad 7, which in my opinion is one of the best deals in tech right now. With education discount, it can be picked up for around £300, and with a keyboard and Apple Pencil, the total cost is just over £400. However, this iPad has the A10 CPU, which was first used in the iPhone 7, so it is a little bit older and slower. But in day-to-day use, I've never experienced any slowdowns at all. It just means that this iPad is less capable in gaming and other super intensive tasks. It also features the Apple Smart Connector, which means you can use Apple's official smart keyboard case, but I think people who go for this cheaper iPad will probably end up getting a cheaper keyboard, just like I have. This keyboard is the Logitech K380. It's a wireless Bluetooth keyboard with quick switching between devices. I would highly recommend this keyboard since it's as good, if not better, than the keyboard on my MacBook. And it can be used with your phone, iPad, or any device with Bluetooth, but probably not your Samsung smart fridge. The next iPad is the iPad mini. This, in my opinion, is a great iPad, but the screen is too small to use for any meaningful note-taking. It's potentially a good option for using if you already have a laptop or a desktop and you want the best specs on a tablet for the lowest price possible. If you want a small tablet for gaming, then it's absolutely perfect. It's so portable and it can run emulators for so many older console games, and it also has controller support. So it's an amazing portable gaming console for the price. The next iPad is the iPad Pro. There's two sizes of iPad Pro, which are available for around £1,000. If you have a very high budget, then the iPad Pro is a really nice iPad to have, and it's the only one which supports the Apple Pencil's second generation, which has the added advantage of magnetic charging and a tap feature to change between a pen and an eraser. iPad Pro is a truly beautiful device, so if you're someone who enjoys looking and admiring your tech, then it might be worth it for you. However, none of the upgrades in the iPad Pro are essential compared to the iPad Air, with the two major differences being the design and the screen, where the iPad Pro has bigger screens with 120Hz refresh rates, and what this means is that things look and feel smoother. However, even on my budget iPad 7th generation, everything feels lightning quick and super smooth anyway. iPad Air has the same specs as the iPad Pro, so in theory, it should be as blazingly fast and last as long as the iPad Pro, all in a more affordable package. In theory, the iPad Air and Pro will last 2 years longer than the iPad 7th generation. So, if the number of years that you can use your iPad matters to you, then the iPad Air is an amazing deal. So, to summarize, here's my recommendation for all students. If you're on a tighter budget, get the iPad 7th generation, as it's fine for most tasks. If you're on a higher budget, then get the iPad Air. If you've got no limits on your budget at all, get the Pro. And also make sure you get respective Apple Pencils and keyboards. So now I'm going to talk about 5 ways that you can optimize your iPad experience. Number 1 is to get a case which can stand the iPad up. This is so important because while you can use the iPad flat to take notes while using the Apple Pencil, it's such an inconvenience if you're trying to watch Netflix or if you're trying to type with a keyboard. It's just so much better to have the iPad standing up. So I recommend a smart folio style of case. These can be had on Amazon for around £10 to £15, and they massively increase your productivity by letting you stand the iPad up. Number 2, make sure the case has a specific slot for the Apple Pencil. I used to have an Apple Pencil case, which was like a Robin Hood bow quiver, this thing right here. You put the pencil in here and you clip the whole thing around your iPad. It looks super awesome, but in practice, it was really annoying because it messed up with the standing mechanism. So I recommend a case like this with a pencil slot on the side of the iPad. Number 3, get a keyboard for faster typing. Typing on the iPad on-screen keyboard is such a pain. I've had 2 Bluetooth keyboards in my time, an one and a slightly more expensive Logitech K380. I would not recommend that keyboard because it had so many problems and the typing experience was not great at all. The Logitech keyboard is leagues above this, and this is the keyboard I would recommend to everyone. As with everything else I've mentioned in this video, all the links are going to be in the description below. Number 4, get an Apple Pencil to annotate and make notes with. I really think the main strength of the iPad is its Apple Pencil support. This makes it super easy to annotate slides, draw things, and be more creative with your work. Number 5, use Notability or GoodNotes for annotating PDFs and PowerPoint slides. These two apps are widely known as the two best note-taking apps. I personally use a combination of Notability and Microsoft's OneNote, but I know lots of people that use GoodNotes. They have really similar features, so if you want me to do a comparison video between these two apps, let me know with a comment below. So, that just about wraps today's video up. I hope you found it useful, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or message me directly on Instagram. Everything I've talked about today is linked in the description below. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and press subscribe for more content every single Saturday. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.